1580. Be sure to tune in weekdays at 4:35 p.m. for your daily download on the federal bribery trial of LA City Council member Mark Ridley Thomas. The case is sure to have many twists and turns, and our program will be the show of record in the case of United States versus Mark Ridley Thomas. We have our own seasoned justice correspondent who will be checking in with us to keep you up to speed on the daily details of this high-profile legal case. Be sure to tune into Areva Martin in real time weekdays at 4:35 p.m. for United States versus Mark Ridley Thomas, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Order in the court.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
We know about a father wound. What we don't know about is a mother wound. And I want to talk about it for a minute. A mother wound is trauma that your mom dealt with that she never got healed from, and she passed it on to her kids. If you had a mom that was emotionally unsupportive, highly critical, or had low self-esteem, you pick some of that up. How your mom felt about herself, how she dealt with relationships, even what she believed becomes ingrained in you, and you maybe don't even know it. Maybe your mom, now listen, this is gonna be a little challenging for some of us to walk through, but I want you to think about this. Maybe your mom looked to you and your brother or sister to meet her emotional needs, to solve her problems, or maybe she attempted to live her life through you. Maybe mom kept you home from school because she was having a bad day. Maybe you became your mom's best friend whenever you were young, and instead of being a mother, she wanted to be a friend to you. She wanted to hang out. Maybe she talked about your dad to you, and you became a counselor between mom and dad. That's a mother wound. And what happens in your life is that causes you to be a fixer, a rescuer, or an enabler. And you may not even realize that you're that. Here is 8 traits of a mother wound. Number 1, it'll give you the inability to set boundaries. Some of you, as we read through this, you'll realize I do have a mother wound because this is what I do. An inability to set boundaries. You just have a hard time setting boundaries on people. They constantly violate your boundaries, and you just let them. Number 2, insecurity with body and physical appearance. Here's the crazy thing. How many parents we got in the room? Raise your hand if you're a parent. All campuses, raise your hand if you're a parent. Okay, listen, this is super important. You can change it now. How you speak to your kids is very important, okay? But I want you to understand this. You can be the most positive parent in the world. You can tell them every day, you're amazing, I love you, I believe in you, you can do anything, you can be anything, you're beautiful, you're handsome, I'm proud of you, you are so smart. But they don't hear that. Do you know what they hear? They hear what you say about yourself. And that's the identity they take on. You can tell them they're amazing, but if you constantly say, I'm a mess up, I just don't feel like I have any friends, I'm fat, nobody likes me, I just can't get it together, I'm never organized, nobody will ever be happy with me, your outside voice becomes their inside voice. This is important. Number 3, it creates codependency in relationships. Number 4, it creates an inability to regulate your own emotions or self-soothe in healthy ways. If you had a mom who couldn't regulate her emotions, high highs, low lows, constantly frustrated, you never knew what you were gonna get with mom. She couldn't calm herself down, therefore you can't calm yourself down through life. And you'll say things like, no, I'm just having a moody day. No, you're just unhealed somewhere in your life. And so you don't know how to soothe. Number 5, fear of abandonment. Many mothers had a fear of abandonment. So if dad comes home at 5:30 when he was supposed to come home at 5, it's not just he's late from work. It's in that 30 minutes she can build in her head he's run off with somebody. He's out doing something that he shouldn't be doing and passes that on to you. And so you constantly fear abandonment in your life. Number 6, chronic self-judgment, self-criticism, and comparison, looking at other people constantly. Number 7, fear of displeasing your mother or looking to her before you make any decisions. Y'all, I know people who talk to their mother before they talk to their spouse about big decisions. Just look straight ahead right now, don't. Number 8, it creates a lack of self-trust. I don't trust myself, so I'm constantly seeking approval for my decisions from other people. Why is this important? Here's why it's important. Because it can push you into bad relationships and toxic relationships because that's what feels like home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason returns to KBLA with yet another deep discussion, a barn burner, if you will. Tonight's topic is the follow-up to Monday's topic where we talked about the father wound. Tonight, we're going to talk about Mommy Dearest, the mother wound, understanding the problems in the child and mother relationship with my god sister. She's on the line, couldn't make it in person. She's on the line. My sister Pacoya Robinson is on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring her in real quick. Dr. Pacoya. Psychologist and mama. Yes, Dr. Pacoya, how are you tonight?
Hey, how are you, Brother Zoe? How are you?
I am alive and well. Now, I know you're busy, but did you hear that clip?
Whew, I did.
Lord.
I did. It's a barn burner.
It is a barn burner. Listen, when I come forward, my god sister and I will be taking phone calls. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready. When we come forward, I'm going to be asking questions. We're going to be taking calls, and we're going to be breaking down this most complex relationship between mother and child.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates Women's History Month, spotlighting women leaders in our community who are creating positive change. This KBLA Women's Leaders Series spotlights Tina Sims. Please meet Tina Sims. Tina has been with Walmart for 10 years when she started as the department co-manager. To truly understand the culture of Walmart, Tina was asked to be placed in a role where she could learn the day-to-day business as a leader and to understand the people segment of the company. Tina was promoted to co-manager in a $100 million store and placed as the overnight co-manager. Mastering the process, she was promoted to fresh foods and consumable co-manager. Tina feels learning from associates who understood the Walmart brand accelerated her career and was appointed as the market champion for fresh foods and consumables. Tina has spent time learning the process and expectations of her department and has shared her knowledge with the entire market. Tina continues to be a student of the business to better herself as a leader and to help others advance their careers. Tina has been a store manager now with Walmart for 6 years. KBLA and Walmart salutes Tina Sims.
California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com. California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com.
Is child support taking your money? Did you know that states receive $500 million a year in incentives to put people on child support and find them guilty in those same state hearings? Log on to childsupportisfraud.com for more information.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Two, check, two, check, two, check it out. Mama said, better set your life for the living, never rest. Remember, prosperity is not a given. I've been known to go down to a place where I found all the things Mama said, Mama said. Yo, don't take no shorts, don't take no shorts. Sushi before the action, so go for it, yo. Don't take no shorts, don't take no shorts. They take you under, they take you under. Yo, Mama said, better set your life for the living, never rest. Remember, prosperity is not a given. I've been known to go down to a place where I found all the things Mama said, Mama said. Don't you ever take no shorts.
Ladies,
goes for
you know I like
don't ever forget to
giving y'all new records that you've never heard before. That is the Jazzmatics. Jazzmatix, Jazzmatics. The name of the record, of course, is Mama Said. Tonight's topic, brothers, are you afraid to discover your inner mother wound? Are you looking for your broken mama in your next soulmate? Oh, Lord, 1-800-920-1580. Mommy dearest, understanding problems in the child-mother relationship. Did your mother's unhealed wounds teach you to become a wounded fixer, enabler, and rescuer of broken souls? Male or female? I want to know. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I need to talk to you. True or false? Your choice. Oof, I don't want to say this right now. I'm going to wait for that one. I'm going to hold that one. Agree or disagree? A dismissive mother can impact the way you see yourself, others, and the world in general. Come on now, 1-800-920-1580. True or false? Both men and women can suffer from an unhealed mother wound. Whew. Can a mother wound be passed down intergenerationally? Brothers, are you afraid to discover your inner mother wound? I got to ask that question again. It's very fire right now. Did your mother consciously fail? Listen to how it's worded. Did your mama consciously fail to meet your emotional needs as a child? Consciously failed. In other words, on purpose. You know, I'm not interested in that. I'm just not going to sign up for that. My mother told me this when I was 30. She said, when you were young, you were just too much. I just couldn't handle you. You were just too much to handle. I just quit. And she quit at a time in which I needed her the most. Varsity basketball. She quit. She just said, she didn't tell me this until until I was 30. She just said, man, you're just too much to deal with, man. You're just too much. So I quit. Whew. 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get to your phone lines. Mothers are so, that's what we just say, man. Mothers are just so important. Oh, man. How can a mother wound affect a daughter? How does a mother wound affect a son like myself? Oh my God. I love my mama. Mama, Omo Rosetta, come here, mama. I love my mama still. I want to know. I want to know how you dealt with it. Are you dealing with it? Are you getting over it? Are you getting through it? Did you model/learn emotional avoidance from your mother growing up? What is cold mother syndrome? There's a syndrome called cold mother syndrome. What is that? Can a mother be an emotionless provider in much the same way as a father? We hear about the emotionless provider when it's a father, but can the same come from mama? 1-800-920-1580. My sister, Dr. Pacoya Robinson, is on the line. Miss Pacoya Robinson, psychologist. Let's talk about it.
What do we got, bro? What do we grab? Where do I begin?
Now,
I definitely want to preface this
yes,
quickly
please.
with, I listened about daddy issues the other day, and I have found when talking about mother issues, it is
taboo.
The most difficult thing to do. It is. Don't nobody talk about my mama.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the reason why we as adults cannot heal from the mother wound. It's something very taboo to say mom messed up.
Right.
But you can say my daddy ain't
Right.
Right?
Right.
But we cannot say our moms aren't.
You cannot come for mama. You cannot.
Can't.
And like
Never.
I said, I knew a young lady, man. I knew a young lady a few years ago. At least 5. Young lady's mom pimped her out. But she loved her mother to death. When I say she pimped her out, I mean her mother was her madam. She was a child, hooking her up with adults. Real stuff. I got a friend, my homeboy Reggie King. I didn't mean to say his name. I'm sorry. It just came out. He's my friend. The mother of his oldest daughter, because she couldn't have him, put cigarettes out on the 1-year-old. Put her cigarettes out on her. Nobody wants to come for mama. Listen, are toxic mothers the personification of Stockholm Syndrome? Can you tell me about this, Miss Pacoya, Dr. Pacoya?
Wow. You know what? That question, I've never had it put to me this way. Anytime I think of Stockholm Syndrome, it's so much removed from the home, from this initial attachment. But as I think on the fly about the concept of what happens in Stockholm, it absolutely happens with attachments with parents, and especially our mothers. And I'll say this because there was a study done, 50s, 60s, where they worked with rhesus monkeys. Mm-hmm. And they took monkeys and away from their birth mother to kind of show them being raised by a surrogate. But the surrogate mother was a wired, sticky monkey. It was nothing. And it would feed you.
Mm-hmm.
But the other monkey that didn't provide food was made of like terry cloth. And anytime the monkeys were afraid, scared, they'd run to the terry cloth one. They'd hang out with the terry cloth one. But the terry cloth one provided them with nothing. The only time they went to this wired, sticky, harsh one is only they wanted to eat. But they still went back to it, but spent time with this cloth one. So, and it just makes me think, like, even with Stockholm, when we're, abused, but it's the person that's feeding you. They're clothing you. They're keeping you safe, technically. And you're fully still attached to that to the point where you think it's the best way. It's the best thing since sliced bread. And we continue to return to that trauma, to that situation, and start to think it's healthy. It's love.
So Pacoya, what is the technical definition of, mother wound, right? A mother wound. What does that mean? Because I know it's not in you guys' literature anywhere. Somebody probably coined it and wrote a book on it. I got the book. But what is the technical definition of it?
Wow. See, that, because there isn't a definition in the book that I can regurgitate to the world right now, I think it's the behavior, if we can even put words to it, the reaction of having an absent mother. How does that look? It shows up in so many different ways, whether that's from inability to connect to others. If that's, there's even studies where it's ADHD. There's the desire to, or you're like insatiable in relationships. Let's say seeking multiple partners, right? Can't settle down. Our players, they're insatiable. I can't find love. Even the people where they have to take care of others, or they find, the broken puppies and they bring them home all the time, and they start to do that with people. It's what it looks like versus it's a actual definition where I could flip in a book and say, oh, mother wound, I can tell. I know exactly what this is. When someone's describing relationships to me, or lack thereof, or having difficulty connecting, we can always source that back to which parent they're trying to mimic that void from in those relationships.
Oh, God. And when you're mimicking a parent unconsciously, you're also mimicking their wounds, their unhealed wounds, correct?
Absolutely. And we get to know it's called wound now because therapy today is becoming more acceptable, that our parents and our grandparents didn't know they were wounded warriors, as I call them. They didn't know it was a wound. It was a way of living life. Like, it was a way of survival. If you go back enough generations for Black people, we're just surviving. We didn't have time for hugs and cries and kisses and nurturing. It was to keep you alive.
Gosh.
And now, as we've progressed, that's dry and unloving and unaffectionate mothers and grandmothers. They were survivors. We didn't have time.
They didn't have time to hug. They didn't have time to hug. They didn't have time to reinforce, emotionally reinforce, psychologically reinforce. They didn't have time to encourage. And we understand, based off of, who we are here in America and what we've been through. But Doc, have you seen mothers that are consciously this way and not necessarily programmed by the toxicity? Well, we all are programmed by the toxicity of this society. But have you seen somebody who just said that this is the way I am and that's just what it is? Like the Joe Jackson of mamas.
Absolutely. And you show me that person and give me 48 hours with them. They will understand that came from somewhere. It's not just, I made this up by myself. No, you didn't. They can say that, but that could be the limitation in their own insight of themselves. And I do think some traits are genetic and passed down.
So this is generational curriculum. I've moved away from the term generational curse and said it's generational assignments. It's generational curriculum. It may be passed down to you, but it's your job and you have the opportunity to actually learn from it and then transcend it. What are your thoughts on generational curses as generational curriculum?
You know what? I'm not a word clingy person. I'm able to understand the message versus being stuck on the words used. Mm-hmm. And I think having to, code switch with our language to make sure everyone's comfortable is a thing of society today.
Right.
So if you say generational curse, if you say it's a curriculum, whatever, it's our DNA, however you want to get that message across, at the end of the day, we know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Or I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Right. And go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm right with you. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. You go on.
No, you go ahead. No, you go. No. So can you give me like 2 tips? How do you overcome being raised by a narcissistic mother or a borderline mother? Like, how do you overcome that?
Oh, shit, therapy. It's a lot of therapy. At one point, and why I say therapy is because sometimes you do not know there is a different way to love and attach and behave. It's like you're on the wheel. This is how it's taught, and this is the way it is. Mm-hmm. So breaking up with those lessons, and I have to help people break up with that mindset or that distortion that if I don't accept my mother's every word as true and live this out, it's a disrespect to her. So it's starting there. And no, you don't know how to do it unless you read a couple of books and go to school, doctor school like me. But it is a way you have to bounce these ideas off of somebody that's trained and not your day-to-day friends.
So wait.
But it is.
So, Doc, when we come forward, we're going to bounce some questions off of you, and we need some healing. When we come forward, the doc is going to give us some tools, and she might put herself in therapy for cursing.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The FDA is green-lighting over-the-counter sales of Narcan by late summer. That means the drug that reverses opioid overdoses will be available without a prescription. Narcan, which is administered as a nasal spray, is credited with saving thousands of lives over the past few years. The ongoing opioid epidemic killed 107,000 Americans in 2021, mostly from fentanyl overdoses. Well, former Vice President Mike Pence is deciding how to respond to a judge's decision to have him testify about January 6, 2021. Brian Shook has more.
Pence said he's heading to Washington, D.C. to meet with his attorney to decide how to move forward with an appeal. Pence noted that he has nothing to hide and said he did his duty during the Capitol riot.
And Seattle, Washington is set to become the first city in the nation to ensure paid sick leave for most gig and app-based workers. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the accident guys to speak with a real expert attorney for a free consultation.
Tell me I'm the boy that girl.
I'm young, gifted, and black. KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
Join Black Wealth Matters, an educational series as we explore and explain the Black College Athletes Playbook in a 5-part series starting April 6th. Dr. Devarian Baldwin, an award-winning scholar and author, seen in Time, CNBC, and more, helps us follow the college dollars. Coach John Mosley, fan favorite of Netflix's docuseries Last Chance U, covers the new world of the college athletes. David McGriff, one of the leaders in the NIL and sports world and owner of the McGriff Agency, explains NIL and the effects on Black athletes. Keisha Richardson gives the challenges of raising a Black athlete. And last, for the bonus series, we want to give athletes the tools to capitalize from their name and likeness with swimming bronze medalist from the 2021 Paralympics, Jamal Hill. There is no cost for the series. It's a live webinar. Questions are welcome. Register on KBLA1580.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates U.S. Olympic gold medalist and Hall of Famer Jeanette Bolden Pickens, owner of the 27th Street Bakery, during this Women's History Month. 27th Street Bakery sends a huge thank you to the community for all its support during the pandemic, serving the Los Angeles community with their signature sweet potato pie since 1956 and third-generation baker. The goal has never changed. Keep the business thriving for generations to come. Made with the freshest ingredients in each yam peeled by hand. 27th Street Bakery puts the home back in homemade with its signature vanilla added to all its amazing products: pies, cakes, cobblers, tea cakes, and the newest item, creamy sweet potato cheesecake. Call 323-233-3469. That's 323-233-3469. Have your order shipped by visiting 27thstreetbakery.com or stop by 2700 South Central Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90001, Tuesdays through Saturdays, 8 to 4.
Gotta stay fresh, ma. House shot with a rest bar.
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The bounce is back.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world like today, it's a rare occasion to be able to see young mothers like the ones that were around when I grew up. But they live on in memory to quite a few of us. And this song is dedicated to those who cherish that memory. Early one Sunday morning, breakfast was on the table. There was no time to eat. She said to me, boy, hurry to Sunday school, filled with the Lord of glory. We learned the whole story. She'll always have her dreams, despite the things this troubled world can bring. Oh, say, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Place no one above you, sweet Sadie. Well,
Turn it off. Now, what if Sadie was toxic? What if Sadie was broken, man? We still love Mama. But Mama can plant the seed of drama in her kids, and it can blossom into a complete mess. It's okay. It's okay. You can recognize what's wrong with your mother and still love her and still accept her. This is part of it, man. It's a tough thing, but it can be done. If you have a mother wound, you might think you will never be good for somebody else. You might feel unlovable, right? You might feel like I'm just not good enough. Why do I feel so empty? Why do I always doubt myself? These are things that healthy mothers do. They say, it's okay, baby. It's all right. You know, you're going to be all right. You Miss Smile Bright, 1997. We're going to win that trophy next year. That's mamas, man. Mamas love you. They pour into you. But sometimes they could be pouring from a contaminated pitcher. 1-800-920-1580. Miss Pacoya, Dr. Pacoya. What happens when mama is transmitting and downloading clinginess and over-demanding and critical and struggles with affection and lack of independence and detachment and excessive caretaking and tense relationships with all your significant others? How do you say, Mama, how do I break up with all of this stuff you gave me?
Man, that's a lot. I'm gonna watch my mouth too, because I got the rules now. So one thing what we're talking about is, in general, let's just say a mother had all of those aspects. And usually, though, realistically, how it would happen or how it would look in a house is that type of behavior would be directed at each child differently. So let's say broken moms or wounded mothers or mothers with mental illness. In birth order, one of those parents is going to say, oh, this one's my favorite. I don't like this one. You look like your daddy, so I'm going to beat you up. Whatever it is, these toxic things we've probably been a part of. We've seen it in our house. We have friends, family, cousins, whatever. What we have to understand is how that child also receives that behavior, because every child's temperament is different. So it's hard to answer that question in this global way to break it up, other than me always going back to however it's showing up in this adult life today as a maladaptive attachment. That's what we go back to and talk about, because that child's mindset is probably different from their siblings. Some siblings come out of it untouched, unscathed, and that's just their personality. They might be a Scorpio.
Oh, okay.
So
Dr. Pacoya is Scorpio.
You know what I mean? You never know. But what I'm saying is we have to also understand their personality, even in children, even when they're little. There's a kind of a personality within that child that's developed already at 2. Some kids can numb it out and process it away, whereas some are really, really impacted by it. So again, it's just reverting back to how is that showing up, those behaviors and that treatment and the way that person received it, those thoughts around it. You have to unroot that and peel back those layers with that person directly.
So let's get a little deeper. Tell me, what is the technical term And I know it, but I want the listeners to get a piece of it. What is the technical term for maladaptive attachment styles?
Maladaptive attachment styles. What's the technical term?
Yeah, like explain that to
Well,
folks.
are you talking about that?
Because
Are
you
you talking
said
about the
you said sometimes
theory?
the kid might develop a maladaptive attachment style. So
Oh, right.
yes.
Okay. So that's when, again, it comes back from the initial attachment therapy, where children can be dismissive. They can be fearful. It's dismissive, avoidant, fearful, avoidant, anxious, preoccupied. Again, it was a study done where a child was put in a room alone, and their caregiver, the mom, is removed from the room. And most kids at a certain age, they would cry and look for their mother.
Who is that? That's the lady, right? Ains somebody?
Yeah, Ainsworth.
Yeah,
Bowlby,
Ainsworth.
Ainsworth.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
strange, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Correct. Strange room,
Yes.
something like that, right?
Something like that.
You know I should know this.
Yes, but it's
But
yes, you should.
strange
That's why you're
situation.
here. Yeah.
Strange. It's called a strange situation, where they put the child in a room and then they remove the caregiver to see how the child would respond.
Right.
And if it's a secure attachment, you can tell this child has healthy boundaries. They're kind of resourceful. When a child is anxious, and you can tell this by they have these abandonment issues, these fears, where they can't be soothed once the mother returns. Or a kid that's fine, you drop your kids off at kindergarten, preschool, and they cry and cry and cry, and eventually they're like, she's not coming back, let's just go play with some toys. That's a healthy way. There's also this fearful avoidant, where it's this fear of rejection. They can't trust. These people have trust issues, low self-esteem later in life, and you'll see that kind of reaction also. And another one is, I think, what did I say? Secure, anxious, fearful. There's dismissive, avoidant, where it's kind of like the mother returns to hug the child, and the child pushes them away but kind of hugs. It's like, oh, get on. I wasn't crying for you, Argentina.
The child pushes the mother away.
That's right. So they seem guarded and closed off. So that's how you can see this kind of dismissive, avoidant attachment is the child cries for the mom, and then the mom returns, and then the kids are like, oh, okay, all right.
Wow.
Or even you will see where even the mother cannot soothe the crying child. That's how I can look and see, oh, wow, this mom is absent. And you can see that with, mothers who may had substance abuse, women of the night. Their child is never there, to where it's almost like a stranger walking back into the room for that child.
They're asking questions about reactive attachment disorder. Your thoughts?
Reactive attachment. That's what we're talking about. That it is a disorder, and it's where it's this lack of healthy boundaries, or these bonds, should I say, with the parent figure. And I say parent figure because, again, a mom could be the grandma, could be the auntie, whomever it is, but we're talking about moms for this show. But when you see an emotional bond with a caregiver because of emotional neglect, early on, you can see that child has difficulty with connecting with others. They even have trouble managing their own emotions, things like that.
Wow. Let me just say this, because the internet has created a false persona of manhood. It's a lot of men running around talking about they the big dog and they, masculinity. And listen, why
Toxic masculinity.
Why is it so difficult for men to discover their inner mother wound? And I ask this question because you really can't be a man until you heal the inner mother wound. You can't be useful in a relationship. You can't contribute to a relationship in a healthy way unless you acknowledge and embrace that inner mother wound. Why do so many men feel like There's nothing wrong with them, and they're good. Talk to me.
Wow, and I think that goes back to the very beginning where I was speaking of how it's so hard to say, shame on you, Mom. And I especially think it's more difficult for men to do this because just the general and stereotypical love men tend to have for women, their mothers, that caretaking piece. There's always this space in your heart, I think, that shows up. And in realistic, when working with men that have this wounded mother issue, it's a lot of times their mom was also a single mom. So to shame her in any way, it's almost like it's a black and white thing. Like, I can't be grateful that she showed up and all the things she did for me. If I say one thing bad about her, it erases everything good. Like, I can't say this. I can't say that to my mom.
Right.
And I'm like, no, yes, you can. It doesn't erase or negate everything else she was able to do and did do in, taking over that absence of your father.
Right.
That's a hard piece to learn and even accept. I have some men that just never will do it.
It's heavy stuff, man. It's heavy stuff. Dr. Pacoya Robinson, my sister, is on the line. How can people follow you? How do they support your work? If somebody is hurt, if somebody is broken, can they call you? Because I'm going to send a whole bunch of people to you. Can they call you?
Oh, yeah, they can definitely call me, but it won't be like donate $10 on this show. But you can reach me at the letter N, SIGHT, M as in Mary, E. That is my IG, @InsightMe. Or if you have insight.me@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
I always answer.
And now I got another one to ask, man. Men with the unhealed mama wound. Like that unhealed mama wound. Mama. That unhealed mama wound. Do they go out? And do they go out looking for that mama energy, that wounded energy that mama had? In other words, are they going out unconsciously dating energetic carbon copies of their mother?
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh.
And it's one of those things that not knowing it. So let's think the person is not whole. We all have aspects of ourselves. So let's just say this mother that created this wound. There's a strong aspect of that mom that was able to, I don't know, maybe overcompensate for the father maybe not being there. Let's take that example. Mm-hmm. And, coming down on the son really hard and being very rigid and very strict. I know you talked about helicoptering and being cold. And there's this idea that the mother has to overcompensate to raise a son by herself. So now it's like, this is what men need. And it's almost injecting this, you don't need hugs and kisses. You need to stand up and be a man.
Wait,
so there's that aspect
hold on. Just hold tight, because you're cooking right now. Hold tight. When we come forward, my sister, Dr. Pacoya Robinson, will continue that very thought. Do not forget it when we come forward. We're going to get the rest of it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Women are taking up space in the political sphere, but black women still have yet to really make their mark. This is Maisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Story courtesy of CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. On International Women's Day, the Public Policy Institute of California held the Women in California's Legislature Luncheon. Assemblymember Tina McKinner from Inglewood headed to Sacramento to sit on the panel. The woman-led panel discussed California's future and their essential roles in shaping government
governmental policies. This year's class of legislators held the largest number of women in state history, with 18 senators and 32 assembly members. And although black women are 8% of the 15% population of women in the country, they only fill 300 of the 7,000 state legislature seats across the U.S. McKenna made sure to emphasize the importance of this event and of women in color in politics, stating women bring diversity to the table due to the ways we take care of our families. I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates women's history, spotlighting women in our community who are creating positive change. This KBLA Women's Leader Series, sponsored by Walmart, spotlights Molly Bell. Please meet Molly Bell. Molly Bell is a community activist and prayer warrior, straight out of Compton. Molly Bell's activism and dedication to service and community has gained her recognition as an honorary member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Molly Bell exemplifies one who is worthy of the KBLA Women's Leader Series, sponsored by Walmart. KBLA and Walmart salutes Molly Bell. This KBLA Women's Leaders Series, sponsored by Walmart, spotlights Gabrielle Earl. Gabrielle has taken part in developing and establishing the Black Family Circle Parent Advisory Committee for the ABC School District. Gabrielle was a disaster service worker during the pandemic, helping support the unhoused. Gabrielle is an employee for the City of Los Angeles, Port of LA as a wharfinger. Gabrielle was awarded the LABP Trailblazer Award in the City of Los Angeles in February 2023. KBLA and Walmart salutes Gabrielle Earl.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Said a small boy once asked, when will I grow up? When will I see what grown-ups do see? In his fight to come of age, he would have to know the age to be recognized as one and not a mass. And Mama used to say, take your time, young man. And Mama used to say, don't you rush to get old. And Mama used to say, take it in your stride. And Mama used to say, live your life.
Yeah! My playlist is my co-host. Listen, I'm going to have fun even though this is a difficult topic. It's a heavy topic, but I'm going to have fun. Junior said, and Mama used to say, but not everything Mama said was good for your soul. When your mama said, you remind me of your daddy, and it wasn't encouraging and uplifting, you just like your daddy. Ugh, I hate it when, ooh. Mama used to say some terrible things. Dr. Precoya? Get in here, sis.
I'm back.
So you were saying before we came forward, and now we're full circle, I want you to finish the thought you were making before the last intermission.
Okay, I think I remember where I left off.
Oh, Jesus.
The overcompensation, that may have to happen with a mom, right? I think that's what I was saying. I wish you didn't cut me off. But
we had to go to break.
I know. I should have took some notes on my own thought. But I think what I was saying as far as trying to contain that and the black and white thinking that comes with addressing a mom that may have passed down this wound. If the father's not there, the mother has to overcompensate in inputting and injecting kind of toxic, what turns into toxic masculinity, like be a man. And they can reframe intentionally or unintentionally the affectionate piece that goes into, and I think is very necessary to raise a healthy and emotionally stable man. That idea that mother may have that these boys don't need that. Now how it looks in relationships is what does a man that didn't have his mother hug him and kiss him and love him and show him affection, what does that look like? It can show up in many different ways. And then on the other end, there's this overly attached mom. The mother bear, my boy does no wrong, my baby. The mother that does not hold a son or a man accountable. Then how does that look later in life?
Right.
You know, who is that initial teacher? And that can also be out of fear of wanting your son to leave. I've had stories of mothers never wanting their sons to leave their house.
Oof.
They can stifle them. So it's kind of like baby boy. What was wrong with baby boy? Right? Those are real live situations where can a son stay in that presence of his mother forever?
No.
How will that relationship look when that adult male and his girlfriend, wife, or whatever is not measuring up to mom still doing your laundry? And these are the expectations.
That's like,
fine, if you won't do it, my mama will. Of course she will.
That's like
no
Martin.
one else is at the house with her.
Right? That's like Martin with his mama. My mama biscuits. These ain't my mama biscuits.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
So these wounds, when they're handed down, again, someone said it, our mothers do the best they can with, the cards that they were dealt and all the other bumper sticker cliches we see. At the end of the day, it's the adult's responsibility to heal the wound.
Pacoya?
Period.
You're not going to like this. We got to go forward one more time. But
go forward.
There is somebody who is trying to call in and they want to talk to you, and they are a childhood friend of mine. They've been hitting me on Instagram. I can't do nothing. I'm on my phone, so I can't respond to your Instagram. But she was like, I want to talk to Dr. Pacoya. You hold tight, Dr. Pacoya. When we come forward, we're going to see what Pacoya has to say to these callers that are on the line.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The FDA is green-lighting over-the-counter sales of Narcan by late summer. That means the drug that reverses opioid overdoses will be available without a prescription. Narcan, which is administered as a nasal spray, is credited with saving thousands of lives over the past few years. The ongoing opioid epidemic killed 107,000 Americans in 2021, mostly from fentanyl overdoses. Well, former